Hello Twitter! So we are live with one of our first Periscope videos, and today we wanted to talk about how we at Socedo use social media and conferences to really build our B2B marketing funnel. It's obviously a hot topic right now. We're kind of in conference season, and at Socedo we've been sponsoring a lot of events here over the last few months and using some pretty interesting strategies by leveraging social media with our event strategy to get even more leads out of those events. So we're going to spend 10 or 15 minutes kind of going over some of the tips or tricks that we use here at Socedo, but would love to hear your thoughts, any additions that you have or questions. Please tweet, let us know, we're happy to answer them. There's really kind of three things that we're going to focus on in this session. So the first is talking about what do we do at Socedo before the event to get leads captured and get people engaged even before we're there on the ground with our booth at the show. Next, we'll talk about what we do during the event. How do we actually go and get good content out of the event, promote that content, and obviously make really good use of our booth. And then finally, we'll talk about post-event. What do we do to actually nurture those leads, continue to build those relationships, and turn all of those leads and prospects that we got from the event into real qualified sales opportunities. So let's start at the top. So all of this comes down to leveraging social media as a vehicle to kind of start figuring out who is going to be at this conference that you just plopped down a ton of money to go and sponsor and have a booth at. Now the cool thing is that all of these conferences have an event hashtag associated with it or a handle that's tweeting about the event. So step number one is monitor those hashtags and those event handles to figure out who's engaging in that month or two before the event. And you can start to assume that they're probably going to be attending the event, or at least they care about the content and the topic of that conference. So monitor those folks and capture them, right? The great thing about social media is that everybody's got a profile. You know who that person is, where they live, what job title they have, or where they work. And what we do is use Socedo to actually grab these contacts, associate them with a LinkedIn profile, grab a business contact information like an email address, and then we push them right into our Marketo marketing automation and lead management database. If you're using CRM, you can put them in there, or any other email platform. That's a good place to kind of store all of these prospects. So we've monitored the event hashtag and we've captured an audience that we think is going to be there. The next step is to actually send them a message to invite them to meet at the event, come to our booth, maybe see a demo of our product. So we do that in two ways. First, we actually leverage Twitter, the medium where we found that person to begin with. And the way that we do it is we actually like to kind of warm up the prospect first. So we start with a light touch, we might follow them, we'll like their tweet that was related to the event. And as they show interest back in us, they engage with us, they follow us, that's when we'll send them a direct message actually asking if they are going to be there and seeing if they might be interested to meet up, come to the booth, see a demo. Now, in addition to that vehicle on Twitter, again, we've captured their contact information and we've put them into our email marketing system. Again, in this case, we're using Marketo. So automatically, when that person tweets about the hashtag, they come into Marketo and they go onto an automatic nurture program and they get an email from us. It's a very personalized email. It comes from one of our sales reps that's going to be there at the event. And it basically says, hey, I noticed that you were tweeting this hashtag. Are you going to be at the event? We're going to be there too. Would love to meet up. This is what we do. Maybe you want to come by our booth and see a demo. Now this is really cool because what we see is very high engagement rates. Our average email click-through rates on these mails are around 10 to 20%. So much, much higher than your average nurture emails. And again, that's because you're tying it to something relevant and something real time. That person is going to be at their event. Their job is to meet with people. That's what they want to do. And you're giving them a message ahead of time, unlike a lot of the other sponsors, that's going to get them engaged and get them involved. So this is sweet. Before the event, 1 or 2 months, we've already collected a whole bunch of leads and started conversations, got people engaged on emails, got people coming to our website, all before we even arrived in the city to start our booth. Now during the event, obviously we've got to manage the booth. We're going to have our sales team there. We're going to be grabbing people and pulling them in. We're going to be getting their business cards, doing badge scans, really getting them to kind of see our product. All of the folks that we emailed or messaged originally, we want to make sure that we're following up with them, setting up meetings, and getting them to visit our sales team. So all of the action is happening at the booth. Now at the same time, we have somebody who's going to the sessions themselves, taking notes, understanding what are the popular topics or themes that are coming out of this conference. We're doing that in the sessions. We're also continuing to monitor the event hashtag in that feed so we can understand what is popular, what are people grasping onto, what's kind of hot and relevant coming out of the conference itself. And then we want to post back on the hashtag. Everybody's there, they're on the ground, that's the only thing that they're doing that week or that couple of days, and they're probably following along with the conversation. So the more visibility, the more thought leadership that you can build here, the more buzz you're going to generate out of the event. But of course, the real reason for this is so that post-event, you've got a really good piece of content that you can use to promote and nurture these relationships that came out of the event. So what we'll do, for example, is based on these notes and the sessions that we went to, we'll write up a blog post, like a recap of the event, kind of highlighting some of the hot topics and themes. We'll publish that back out onto the hashtag, onto the feed, and because it's newsworthy, it's real time, that piece of content's going to get a lot of buzz. Now we may also transform that into a form fill asset, like a white paper or a webinar that allows us to capture even more leads after the event. And with this piece of content, we're now going to use that in an email nurture for all of the prospects and leads that we captured during the event and pre-event. And the cool thing is, again, we're giving them a relevant piece of content from an event that they just spent time at. They're going to see really high email engagement rates when you use this sort of nurture process. And of course, just like we were doing pre-event, we're going to continue to monitor the hashtag. Anybody talking about the event after the event, we're going to grab their contact info and put them on that email nurture program. And then finally, you also want to think about how you're routing leads to the sales team after the event as well. So what we do here at Socedo, the sales reps that actually went to the event, they get their first pick. So the people who they had the warmest conversations with or thought were the best qualified, they'll kind of cherry pick and take on their plate. We'll then kind of distribute the rest of the really good warm leads to our AEs, our closers. And the ones that are kind of neutral or still need some warming up, we'll send those over to our SDRs and our appointment setters to call down and see if they might be interested in a demo. The third group is kind of the neutral or bad leads, right? They didn't express real-time interest, there wasn't kind of a timing need, or they didn't even come to the booth, right? They were just kind of these people that we were picking up from monitoring the hashtag, or they were on the attendee list. Those are all the ones that we stick with marketing, we keep them in these email nurture programs, and we use the piece of content that we developed using the content coming out of the event to nurture those folks. And again, you see much higher engagement rates because they just went to the event, because they care about the content, and very quickly, those leads that you might just be nurturing are going to become sales ready and then qualify into real sales opportunities and end up becoming closed customers and revenue for you. So pretty neat process here, leveraging social media and content marketing to get even more leverage out of the investments that you're making around conference sponsorships. A lot of our clients see a doubling in the amount of qualified opportunities that they get by leveraging a strategy like this. We just sponsored Inbound over in Boston last week and have already gotten 40 or 50 qualified sales opportunities just by leveraging this methodology. So give it a try. Let us know what questions you have. If you'd like to see how Socedo can help to automate some of this, we're happy to kind of give you a demo or a trial. But of course, let us know what questions you have, or if you have any other thoughts. We'd love to hear what you think and what you use for your event strategies.
Someone asked, can you do this for hiring?
Definitely. You can use a very similar approach to hiring as well. Now, the question was, can you use this for hiring? You'll want to think about what event you're going to be looking for. You're going to want to think about how the messages might change, right? Instead of saying you want to do a demo, you might want to meet about a job or a hiring opportunity. And then, of course, kind of similar during the conference, right? Think about what were the hot topics. And then afterwards, again, pull those contacts out, nurture them, and leverage them in your email system. Now, for hiring, there's normally not the same CRM systems and marketing automation systems that you would use for sales and marketing purposes, But you can start to jerry-rig some of those systems that you have, right? Your email marketing system, you can start to use for hiring or recruiting. You might have a CRM or kind of an applicant tracking system that can help you with some of that. But a lot of these kind of similar tactics and strategies can translate to the hiring market as well.
If there's any more questions, try a free trial.
All right, thanks everybody.